Feels like the story of last season has continued. A good performance from Manchester United and a goalkeeper blunder costs 3 points. Arsenal didn't even have to be at their best to walk away with 3 points, but I definitely think that there are some positive signs that I've seen in those 90 minutes that make me believe that Manchester United can get back on track. However, regarding that, Man United need to finish the transfer window with a midfielder and a goalkeeper, and I don't think it's been ever more so obvious. Be sure to hit the like button, be sure to subscribe as well if you are new here. We're going to break it down. Remember guys, tactical analysis of the game dropping on Monday morning, so make sure you guys check that out as well. So let's start with, for me, the first part of the conversation, what I've seen from Cunha, Mbeumo and Mason Mount. Firstly, Cunha and Mbeumo, they've changed my life. They've changed my expectations of what I expect from Man United's front line. The only thing for me that was lacking for Manchester United is probably that clinicalness, that ability to, take a shot without shying away or trying to find the perfect pass in the final third. I felt like at some points United were just trying to be too perfect in the final third rather than just taking a risk. I mean, there was quite a few different plays, and I'm going to go through that in the tactical analysis that drops tomorrow. But Cunha just driving through the middle. One thing that really stuck out to me in the first 45 minutes is how well Dalot and Mbeumo played together. Now, in pre-season, we saw Mbeumo and Ahmad play together quite a bit. And it felt like sometimes they weren't on the same page, mainly because both of them were playing as the wider player and they were still trying to figure it out. Whereas playing with Dalot, I think, because of Mbeumo's ability to play out wide or play in the half spaces in the 10 area, and vice versa with Diogo Dalot, they were able to interchange quite a bit. And Dalot, providing that support with the overlapping runs, putting that delivery in, which led to most of the time Man United having no one in the box. But then even when Ahmad came on, Man United were still able to continue with that, where Ahmad was holding the width and Mbeumo was tucking in more central. And I just think it will take a bit of gameplay and game state situations for Manchester United's right hand side to really kind of click like that. Lenny Yoro as well, in collaboration, just driving forward with the ball when necessary. I think he did very well against Martinelli. If I'm being totally honest guys, I don't really feel like Arsenal's front line did anything throughout the game. I think Arsenal's best player, probably outside of David Raya, was Martin Odegaard for me. I mean, Bukayo Saka was a nil factor for me. Gyökeres, welcome to Old Trafford, absolutely no impact. But I noticed one thing that Arsenal did with Gyökeres, and they were targeting those aerial duels. And, against De Ligt, against Lenny Yoro, both of them were coming out on top against Gyökeres. So that already failed for Arsenal. But in terms of Man United's backline, I think everybody did pretty well. De Ligt, I was very happy with him. Outside of, Bayinda, and I have to speak about the goalkeeper thing because Ruben Amorim confirmed before the game started that Onana was available, but he's just been left out of the starting 11 because he hasn't played in pre-season. But I think if anything, Manchester United need a goalkeeper regardless of whether Onana is back from injury. I think it's very clear as day that Bayinda is not good enough as a goalkeeper. Onana isn't, and I don't want the entire season to sit here in front of you guys and discuss with you guys and be like, we could have won if it wasn't for the goalkeeper. Oh, we could have won if it wasn't for the individual mistake from the goal. I don't want that. I want to be able to sit here and talk about games where, like today, I felt like there was so many positives for Manchester United, but I'm just dwelling on that one factor in the game that completely changes the result. And at the end of the day, it is the results that matter. We're not going to look back at the end of the season and be like, oh, remember when we played well against Arsenal on the opening day? No, everyone's just going to remember that United didn't get the 3 points. And the biggest difference factor is two things for Manchester United today. It's that goalkeeper position and it's the central midfield position as well. Now, Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro as the starting pair for the midfield, I think they did pretty well. The goal that Manchester United actually conceded came from a poor pass from Bruno Fernandes inside his own box. Again, making small errors like that. But I think as the game went on, Man United progressed through the game. Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro did. I think for me, the biggest question I had about the game and the changes was the Ugarte substitution. I don't think it was a game for Manchester United to bring on Ugarte. Maybe Amorim anticipated it's a like-for-like swap or near enough to a like-for-like swap for Casemiro and Ugarte. But for a game where Manchester United dominated possession, where a game where I know a lot of people didn't anticipate it, I didn't anticipate Man United to dominate possession. I think Man United were winning a lot of the midfield battles when necessary. I just didn't think that was necessary to bring in Ugarte over Kobbie Mainoo, number one. Number two, Ugarte had some questionable decision making in the game, whether it's a sloppy back pass that nearly leads to an opportunity for Arsenal, whether it's an erratic shot on the 35 yards out of the box, which is just unnecessary. And then the final moment, I think it's like the 94th-ish minute, where he just gives away a foul in Arsenal's final third, which completely changes the momentum and shifts the momentum into Arsenal's favour for the last minute of extra time. I just think it's some questionable decision making for a midfielder that I don't think needed to come on in the game. There was never a game state moment that I looked and I thought this is a moment where we need Ugarte, we need his legs in the midfield, because that is really what he offers. Just running and covering ground and causing a nuisance. But when the opponent, like Odegaard, Zubimendi, Declan Rice, they are not dominating possession, I don't think you need to do that. You need to have tacticians on the pitch. You need to have technical players. You need to have players in midfield that are smart on the ball, that will recycle the ball, that will drive the ball in through the middle. And when Ugarte came on, Cunha was dropping into those deeper roles a lot more in comparison to maybe what I saw in the first half, with Sesko and Mbeumo kind of playing as the two kind of strikers. And like I said, guys, I'll go through that in the tactical breakdown that drops tomorrow morning, so be sure to check that out. But just quickly on Mason Mount as well in that team, because I feel like Mason Mount might be finding his footing at Manchester United under Ruben Amorim. He might be finding that role. I think he worked very well today. I did worry about the lack of focal point for Manchester United, because it felt like Man United would be playing for a transition football more so than having a focal number 9 point. And there was particular moments in the game, especially with those, Man United do what they do very well is those overloads on the far channel and then switch the ball with an opportunity to play a delivery into the box. And they did that quite a few times, but no one was in the box. Why? Because Mason Mount playing as a false 9, and Cunha dropping into the left channels, and then Mbeumo dropping into the right channels and into the 10 channels. No one's in the box. There was no one in the box. And when Sesko did come on, he did offer that physicality against the centre backs, and he did offer that occupying the back line and just being a physical presence. But he didn't have that much involvement in the game. And I'm not going to slate him or anything, because it's his first 15 or so minutes under Manchester United and Ruben Amorim. It's going to take some time. I did kind of question the lineup going into the game as well, but I definitely feel like, you guys might not believe me, I definitely feel like there are some more positives to take away from this game than the negatives. The negatives is definitely the scoreline. The negative for me is definitely the goalkeeper situation. It's the lack of midfield quality that Manchester United have. Another thing that I'm going to go in detail in the next video, but Man United and Ruben Amorim inverting the central centre-back every time. I saw it about 6 different times in the first half, and most of the time Bayinda would just either go long or go to Lenny Yoro, who would go long. And I just feel like that's a waste of possession. Despite the fact that Man United dominated possession, I still felt like that was a waste of possession. Now today, Man United creating over 20 chances on goal, just under half of that on target, none of them real big chances. And Cunha for me, difference maker for Manchester United. I'm really excited to see what Cunha and Mbeumo do in the red shirt across the season, but I'm also excited to see how Sesko comes into that. Now at this point I feel like I'm pleading with Manchester United, please go and get a goalkeeper and a midfielder. Now I know that it's been reported that Baleba thing is long gone, but Man United need an engine in the midfield, and Manchester United need a goalkeeper. And the most important thing for me of the goalkeeper and the midfielder is someone that can do the basics and the fundamentals very well for their position. I don't want this glorified midfielder or this glorified goalkeeper. I just want someone that can do the fundamentals and the basics of exactly what their position requires, and if they have anything extra to add, then that is an absolute bonus. But I need a shot stopper of a goalkeeper. I need someone that is good at set pieces. I need someone that's physically strong at set pieces, that doesn't get flung around by the opponent. I need somebody that can read the game very well. I need somebody that can comfortably make saves at their near post. I need a goalkeeper, like just on paper a good goalkeeper, and a midfielder. You lot know exactly what I want, but let me know what you lot thought of that game. Do you feel like me, where you feel like there are some positives, or do you feel like Man United are just picking up where they left off last season? Be sure to check out the tactical breakdown dropping tomorrow regarding Manchester United versus Arsenal. Be sure to hit the like button, guys. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new here.